right, so now we come to the fabled tulip. The tulips are probably the most sought after in the garden, in the landscape world, because they give us that beautiful satisfaction outside as well as cut. And so forcing them inside happens early, and they probably will come alive for you in February. Now these tulips, when I go to choose a tulip to force inside in a container, I always choose the shortest one I can. This particular tulip is only about 14 inches, but you really want one that's going to be about 10 to 14 inches, really. You don't want them very high, and you don't want the species tulips. You just want the regular tulips, just a little bit shorter. And they'll say single early tulip on them, and that's really important, because if you try to grow a very tall tulip that might be the most beautiful tulip ever, it will fall over in a warm house in a short container. Now the other trick with a tulip is, if you notice, a tulip always has a lumpy side and a flat side. Now the flat side is where the leaf is going to come out. So you don't want the leaf in the center. You want the leaf to come out, so over the edge. So to make a really pretty display, you should always keep that in mind, that the lumpy side is where the flower stalk is going to be, and the flat side is where the leaf is going to be. So that if you want to make it nice, the leaf will hang over the edge a little bit, and it will make it look more full. So you don't have, it's more random. So now, what I like to do is a really old-fashioned trick. I like to plant a couple of different types of tulips in the same container. You cannot plant some things together, but I like to plant at 2 levels in the container. So if you see, I've filled it half full. All right, and today we're going to be using 2 different types of pink. So I'm going to put the darker pink at the bottom, and it's going to come up through, and it'll bloom a little later, and we're going to put the lighter pink at the top. So what I do is first of all, I take it and I put this flat side to the edge of the planter. All loves to do this. All right. All right, and remember, these tulips are going to have to go away for about 10 weeks to really make a good display. They won't, they need to root in. So now that is my first layer. And that's the dark tulip. All right, now I'm going to fill it up for the second layer. This is where the cooking comes in. If you like to make different colors of layers of cakes, it's exactly the same idea. So now you can see that layer of tulip is completely gone. And I'm going to use the white on top. And once again, I'm going to put the flat side out. And you can just sort of feel the tulips, just the tip of the tulip from the bottom layer. So you're going to plant in between. And plant in between, so that you get them all nice and even. And you can do this on if you have a deeper, bigger pot, you can do maybe 3 layers. Okay, and the ones in the center. Okay, so now that's the second level. So the ones underneath will come up through, and then the ones on the top will be a little bit first. That way you get a little bit longer bloom time, and you get multicolors, and then you just cover the whole thing up. Just like that. Okay? Now this needs to be nicely watered. Now all these ones that I'm forcing in, they do have to have drain holes in them, so the water has to be able to escape. And this tulip now has to go in the dark and the cold for 10 weeks. If they start sprouting before 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks really, you do have to bring them in. They may not bloom very well for you. But every child loves to do this.